Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Shanice. I do reaction videos. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check out my other videos down below. So I saw a video pop up on my feed on YouTube recommended to me. It's a video by, Tyler and Hailey Reese, but it's on Tyler's channel. And it's basically about them, they moved into a haunted house. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to react to this. So that's what we're about to do today. So let's go. I like the intro.
Alright, so we are finally getting into the long-awaited haunted house video, and we are going to be getting into explaining all the weird and mysterious things that have been going on that we can't really explain. And we've just had an experience actually today and yesterday that we will be getting into, but it's actually really weird.
Yeah, so when we initially moved into the house, you guys, I can honestly say from my personal experience, I don't know how yours was, but I, being who I am and having been to tons of haunted places, really value my space feeling zen and peaceful. And so immediately when we moved in and we had our first night here, we actually only had an air mattress.
Hold on, it's getting hot. I literally just got home and I ran in like, oh, I need to do this reaction before I gotta go to work.
First night. And when we first stayed overnight here, I was vibing it out and I didn't get any negative vibes.
No.
I didn't personally feel like there was anything in here until around a week later, I would say, was our first experience. And I guess I'll tell it from my perspective first, and then you can tell it from your perspective, so you guys can kind of get both views. But
And also Blue's wandering around. It's late because, I mean, there's no better time to tell ghost stories than, in the late hours. But Blue thinks it's party time, so she's wandering around. Ace is ready for bed. But let's get into these scary stories.
So Tyler and I like to play this game, you guys. It's kind of silly, but it's something that we've always done. We don't do it all the time, but once in a while, we'll play a game where we hide on one another and the other person kind of has to find us, but it's impromptu. It's like, I'll be downstairs, he'll be upstairs, I'll hear him coming down, and I'll decide to like go and hide somewhere.
It's funny because when I came in today, you had been upstairs getting ready, and when I came in, the chair was pulled out, and I was like, oh, you're hiding again. And then I went to look, and you weren't there, and I was like, oh.
So I decided to hide around the corner at the island area, and I was like crouched down, hiding. And I hear Tyler come down the stairs, and I hear him head towards that area, so I thought that he was gonna come find me. And I hear him say, I see you, but I wasn't like giving in. And then I hear him go, what the? And his voice just changes and I come out and he's like, white as a ghost, no pun intended. And he begins to tell me that he saw me, like exactly what I was wearing, like kind of crouched like this in another section of the kitchen that I was obviously not in. So if you want to tell that part.
Yeah, so I came in, and as I was actually in this section here, I was walking past here, and from the corner of my eye, I thought I saw her legs like crouched up, tucked back, and which doesn't make sense because there's a step where I saw the figure, there's a step down, so there's no way that you'd be able to just be sitting there and then pull your legs back. You would be on a lower level. So as I walked by, I saw this figure in the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, ha ha ha, funny. So I put whatever I had in my hands on the counter, and I was gonna like go around and be like, oh, like I know you're there, and no one was there. So I kind of just turned around, and I was like, did I like really see that? And I know 100% I seen a set of legs like tuck in behind that area, and it turns out she was.
See, if I had that experience, like this particular situation where he's talking about, I feel like as much, even though I'm a very paranoid person and I don't want to see stuff like that, I feel for me to be able to deal with it, or not freak out as much, is I'll make myself believe maybe I was just imagining stuff. Like I feel like I see stuff all the time, but it's, in my view, it's explainable, like, oh, it's just a bottle or something. Like I feel like that's the only way for me to calm myself down. I don't know.
Hiding behind the counter, and she was like, what did you see? Like, what just happened? And I'm like, I swear I saw you over there. Like,
but
I
it was
saw
weird
you.
Because he was like looking at my pants that I was wearing, and he was like, but I saw
It
those.
was the exact, because her tights had these like
holes in it, kind of.
Yeah, it's like
a material,
a decoration of like holes, like it's a design.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew, like, I know I saw it, because it was exactly the same pants, and like there's nothing in that area that could be mistaken for your tights.
Yeah.
So like I know I saw something.
So that was weird to us, and like the one thing that was kind of unsettling to me from that moment is the fact that it took on the form of me. And I didn't know if it was a comfortability thing or if it was like a threatening thing or a bad sign. But like I said, like I wasn't feeling any negative vibes. Tyler wasn't feeling any negative vibes. So for a couple of days,
still at this point,
yeah,
there was no like
creepiness to it.
Yeah, you didn't feel weird or off.
So a little bit goes on. I would say probably like a week or two. And Tyler is going out somewhere and I'm staying home. And so Tyler leaves the house. Well, no. Tyler says that he's leaving the house. I say, okay, well, I'm going to go take a shower. I give him a kiss. I go upstairs to go take a shower.
So
and I'm in the shower for like a little while. We both take really long showers. So I'm like doing my thing in the shower, like shaving, hanging out. And then all of a sudden I hear Tyler say in his exact voice, his exact tone of voice, hello. And like that's exactly the way that you've said it to me before.
Yeah.
Like he'll be like hello, like if I'm like on my phone scrolling and not listening to him.
Or if I'm calling her, like for example, if she's in the shower and I'm calling her and I think she could hear me, and I'm like, well, like how could she not hear me, like at this level that I'm like calling her? And then I'll come in like, hello, like
Yeah.
you not hear me?
So I heard him say hello and I yell out, what? Assuming that he must not have left yet because I can hear his voice. And he says nothing, and I yell again, what? And he says nothing, and I'm like, babe, what? And he says nothing. So I like open up the shower door and I listen and I don't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I must be hearing things. And right when I'm like, I must be hearing things, I go to get back inside the shower, like close the door and everything. And I literally hear him go, hello, again. So at this point I'm like, babe, what?
And it's always like when a sound happens, you hear it and you're like, wait, did I hear it?
Yeah.
It's like you closing the door, like you heard the door closing and then you hear like the sound over it.
It was weird. And so I get out of the shower, and at this point I'm like, I'm just gonna call him because I'm not wrapping up in a towel. Like I'm halfway through my shower to go downstairs and ask him what the heck he wants. So I call him and I can hear his car. Like his car is really loud. I can hear his car engine. And I'm like, babe? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
I was not home.
why are you calling me? And he goes, what do you mean, why am I calling you? I'm in the car and you called me. And I'm like, no, like you're saying hello in the house. And he said he wasn't in the house. And just to make sure, I flipped up right away and checked our cameras. And outside of the house, sure enough, he was nowhere in sight. But I know.
See, stuff that's taking the form of people, I think that's like demonic stuff. I don't think that's like a spirit, like, our spirit when we pass on. No, I feel like that's demonic stuff, like taking the form of somebody that's living. Okay.
Like, I've been gone for like 20 minutes at this point.
Yeah, I knew for a fact, like my hand to God, I heard Tyler's voice say twice, hello. So at this point, I'm in the shower thinking to myself, what is this thing in here that is able to take the form of me and then take the voice of Tyler? And is that like a threatening thing? Like, is that something that we should be alarmed of or with?
And like deal with the situation, right? Because
Yeah.
if there is something going on, you want to deal with the situation before it turns into anything that, is not so
dangerous,
easily solved.
So then, like, a little bit goes on, and Tyler has an experience. Well, he's in the living room.
So the way our blinds work, I guess shutters you would say.
They're California shutters.
So how they work is they overlap like this, well, like that, and they open like that, and to let the light in. Now,
there's no string or anything.
There's
you
no
just, like,
string, no
yourself.
nothing. You have to physically, you know, put your hand and rotate it, or like put your hand through to open it. So I'm sitting on the couch, and all the blinds to the left of me are closed. All the shutters are closed beside me. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden, a light comes from the left of me. So I'm like, what was that? I look over, and the very top blind shutter, out of 6, there's 6 of them that open. The very top left one had opened perfectly straight, and it's like, if it's like this, there's no way it should be opening.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it was just closed, perfectly closed. It was all dark beside me, and then all of a sudden it was just boom, light. And I looked over and I was like, that's weird. And I just left it. I didn't even get up to close it, nothing.
Yeah.
I just left it, and I was like, that's weird. Like, let's see what happens next.
So then, you guys, I should note, like, we were just taking precautions at this point, and so Jerica came to sleep over. And we have a guest room right next to our master, and Jerica and I were sleeping in the guest room, and then Tyler was sleeping in the master, because we were having like a girls' night. And we're in the room, we're hanging out, we go to sleep probably around like 2 a.m., maybe 3 a.m., and I don't know what time it was, but it was still dark. And I wake up to a man in the room, like completely there, solid man, but he was facing the window. So I couldn't see his face, but
that's what makes it even more like creepy.
He looked like Tyler to me. But mind you,
that would be creepy. I don't know where the placement of their window to the bed is, but me personally, having somebody in my room but their back is facing me and they're perfectly still, God, please take me out that moment.
out of my sleep.
Well, because who else are you expecting to be there, right?
Exactly. Oh, but I should note, like, I didn't know at that point when we were having like our girls' night if I was gonna go back to bed with Tyler or if Jerica and I were just gonna fall asleep like in the same room. I wasn't sure. I told Tyler like I might come to bed, I might like stay in the room with Jerica, I'll let you know. And so I wake up and like this is like over my life. I see this man facing like the window and he had hair like Tyler and like a build like Tyler, and so I start saying like verbally, babe, it's okay, I'm gonna sleep in here with Jerica, like I'm sleeping in here, like go back to bed. And it's dark in the room, and I don't know if you guys will know what I'm talking about. You'll probably know. Where when it's dark and you can't really make out features anyways, like even if someone was in your room, your eyes
just
are
know
adjusting.
that there's something there.
Yeah, so my eyes were adjusting, and the person spins slowly. It's like they heard what I said and looks, and I realized in that moment, oof, that's not Tyler, even though I didn't see any features. It still looked like you. I
know, but you have a feeling, you know?
I knew it wasn't you.
Yeah.
And so, like,
saying.
I know this sounds so insane, and when I told Jerica in the morning, she was like, hell nah. But I was like, I just decided to go back to sleep because I knew it wasn't Tyler, and I knew that, like, I wasn't about to reason with a ghost.
And that was their last sleepover.
It was. But then, like, we went into shutdown, like, our country actually shut down, and we all had to, like, go inside permanently. But, I went back to sleep, and then the next morning I told Jerica, and she was like, I don't know if I want to sleep here again. And then fast forwarding from that, like a little bit later, I was running out of the bedroom. So like how our house is laid out upstairs is like there's the master room, and then to the right, there's a whole laundry room, and then to the left is the guest room. Bear in mind, like I said, I initially saw this man in the guest room. Well, then the one day I was getting ready in the master bath.
Guys, so that's the end of my video. This will be considered part 1. I will do a part 2. So stay tuned for that one, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.